Black Caesar, the African prince who conquered the Caribbean. Intro. They called him Caesar, not a name from ancient Egypt, but a tribute to his strength and leadership. From the royal kingdoms of West Africa, he stepped onto the hardened decks of pirate ships with pride and power. From captivity to freedom fighter. Today, we unravel the hidden story of Black Caesar, his roots, his awakening as a warrior for liberty, his unlikely alliance with the infamous Blackbeard, the deadly ambush that ended Blackbeard's reign, and the unknown fate of Caesar's people, who never broke under chains. Chapter 1. Royal Roots and a Powerful Legacy. Black Caesar was born in the late 17th century in a kingdom along the Guinea or Senegal coast, likely among the Mandinka or a related people. His tribe was known for trade with Arab and European kingdoms, a fierce warrior culture, and a deep sense of honor. Caesar was a natural leader, tall, powerfully built, with skin dark as night and eyes that mirrored the depth of the jungle. He grew up surrounded by rituals and traditions, animistic beliefs, ancestor worship, rhythmic dances, and oral stories passed down through generations. These customs gave him inner strength, a vision that would carry him even after his physical freedom was taken away. Chapter 2. The Betrayal, a Diplomatic Deception. One day, a European ship, likely Portuguese, approached the coast. With gifts, jewelry, and weapons, they sought to earn trust. The tribe believed it was a trade mission and offered Caesar as a mediator. But it was a trap. When Caesar boarded the ship to speak, he was taken prisoner. Silence fell over the river as the crew chained him. His family tried to warn him, but they were powerless against the armed Europeans. The day closed its eyes on the prince. A dark new era had begun. Chapter 3. The Middle Passage, Torture at Sea. Locked in the ship's dark hold as it crossed the Atlantic, Caesar heard the cries of other captives, saw the lifeless bodies thrown overboard, and felt despair like a suffocating shroud. Sleepless nights became routine, but he clung to one thought: escape and fight back. Back in Africa, his people gathered at the river's edge, offering prayers to the ancestors, hoping for his return, a hope that would go unanswered. Chapter 4. Escape through the storm. Off the coast of Florida, a violent storm erupted. Winds and waves battered the ship. Masts cracked. The deck groaned. In the chaos, Caesar saw his chance. A white sailor, moved by Caesar's courage and resolve, secretly gave him water and food. When the ship hit a reef, the sailor used the key he had stolen. Together, they escaped in a lifeboat and barely reached the Florida Keys. Chapter 5. The First Raid, Cunning and Strength. On the island, Caesar and his ally patched up their boat using palm leaves and fishing nets. They learned to read signals, flags, mast types, crew numbers, each clue revealing a ship's nature. Their first attack was simple but effective. They raised a white flag to lure a small English yacht. Once close, they struck with muskets and blades, capturing the crew and reclaiming their spoils. It was the beginning of something greater. More escaped slaves and sailors joined them. Within months, their crew grew to 30 men. Each had a role: helmsman, navigator, boatswain. Discipline and trust became their foundation. Chapter 6. Black Caesar's Island, Settlement and Symbol. After escaping slavery and surviving the storm, Black Caesar found a wild, untouched island among the Florida Keys, a place that would forever bear his name. Previously ignored and surrounded by treacherous reefs, it became a sanctuary. Caesar saw its strategic value immediately. Alongside a small group of fellow escapees, he built a secret base. They erected huts of palm leaves, carved paths through the jungle, and created hidden storage for weapons and loot. He governed with strict rules and a code of honor. Everyone had duties: hunting, fishing, guarding, training. The island became a haven for refugees, escaped slaves, and outlaws. A symbol of resistance. Here, old traditions lived on. African customs were preserved. Caesar's leadership kept order, and his name became a warning to all who dared come too close. Some say the island doubled as a training ground for his pirate fleet. The reefs and shallows around it were used as traps. Only those who knew the waters could pass safely. This was no place of weakness, but of warriors. A place where freedom was reclaimed in a world that tried to break them. Chapter 7. Brotherhood among pirates. Their reputation grew. They journeyed to Nassau, the pirate capital of the Caribbean. Taverns echoed with laughter and plots. Flags with skulls on black backgrounds marked friends or foes. There they met Blackbeard. He tested them in tactics and courage. Impressed, he offered an alliance. Blackbeard provided weapons and ships. Caesar offered his knowledge of local waters and mastery of explosives. Chapter 8. Brotherhood and Tactics at Sea. Blackbeard captained the Queen Anne's Revenge, a ship feared across the Caribbean. Caesar became his advisor and explosives expert. Together, they planned ambushes, using smoke bombs made from herbs, hiding in mist, and luring enemies into traps. Caesar followed a personal code: no women or children taken captive. His crew was paid fairly, securing their loyalty. Chapter 9. The attack on Blackbeard, causes and outcome. Their alliance was strong, but dangerous to colonial powers. Their raids disrupted trade and authority in the Caribbean. In 1718, the governor of Virginia, pressured by the British Crown, decided to end Blackbeard's reign. The Royal Navy sent 4 sloops filled with Marines under Lieutenant Robert Maynard to capture or kill him. Using deception, the Marines disguised themselves as merchants and lured Blackbeard to Ocracoke Island. Blackbeard sent Caesar with 2 boats, thinking the prey was weak. But on the shore, the Marines waited. The battle was brutal. Blackbeard fought like a lion, swinging swords and pistols, but was mortally wounded. His body was beheaded. His head was mounted on a spike as a warning. Caesar narrowly escaped with 2 boats, under heavy fire. It was a devastating blow, but their legend lived on. Chapter 10. Capture and execution of Black Caesar. Days later, Caesar was arrested in Bath, North Carolina. He was charged with piracy and murder, and sentenced to death in Williamsburg. In court, he said proudly, "I only fought back against a system that enslaved me." His words were seen as rebellion. On November 7, 1720, he was publicly hanged. But his story lived on, among African communities, Maroons, and Caribbean pirate lore. Chapter 11. The fate of his people. Back in Africa, his people faced chaos and oppression. Without their leader, many were sold into slavery. Others fled into the interior to survive. Their culture was suppressed, their stories scattered. But their spirit of resistance endured. Caesar's memory lived on in tales passed between pirates and communities, a symbol of the fight against injustice. Closing. The legacy of Black Caesar. Black Caesar's story is no myth, but an echo of strength, loss, and rebellion. He rose as a symbol of freedom, forging a community from defiance and courage. His legacy reminds us that when one person rises, others may follow, and that no chains can silence the fire of the soul. We want to teach people about true Black history. History which is hidden from the mainstream. So if you like this type of content, make sure to subscribe and like the video to support us so we can continue to make these videos. Thank you for watching.